Hello everybody! So, for this whole rabbit hole project, I didn't really know where to start because I'm so curious about lots of different things and none of it really went into like one topic. So I decided that I would just type in what am I curious about into Google and see what popped up because that's my solution to a lot of stuff when I don't know what to do is I just Google it. So I Googled this and the first thing that popped up was an article on curiosity. And so I decided that I would just take that and see where it led. And so I learned a little bit about curiosity. And the basics of what it is that curiosity is what drives learning and education. Because when you're curious about something, you're more accepted, like you accept it more into your mind and you are more willing to learn more about it. And that younger kids are naturally more curious than older kids, and that they are more willing to discover new things that they didn't previously know, partially because they have more time on their hands, but partially because they let their imaginations run a little bit more freely than older people do. Then I got kind of tired of that topic, so I decided to move on, and I googled twins just because I thought it'd be interesting to see what would pop up when I googled twins. And it turns out that I already know most about being a twin, and that it was a very boring topic because I already knew everything about being a twin, and you have somebody that's with you all the time, you have somebody to help you with everything that you need help with. It's like a permanent best friend. It's pretty cool. But I already knew everything there was to know about being a twin, so that was kind of boring. So then I went to sleep. No, I didn't like go to sleep, but like I googled sleep like as my next topic. And so that one was actually really interesting because I really like sleep. Sleeping is good. But I learned that there are like 4 stages to sleep. The first one is like really light sleep, and you're not like asleep, but you're asleep. But you're not completely asleep, you're just partially asleep. Like you're aware of your surroundings, but you're not completely aware of them because you're partially asleep. Then there was the second stage, which was like you're more asleep, but you're not completely asleep. Like you start to relax, but you're not like 100% asleep. And then the third and fourth stages were like the deepest deep sleep that you can possibly be in. And that was like when your muscles relax, when your body like heals itself if you have like an injury or something. And it's also when you grow. You grow in your third stage of sleep, which I thought was pretty interesting. And there's a lot of other stuff, but that was like the basic sleeping information that I found on every website I looked at. And I also learned that teenagers are supposed to get 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep. I'm pretty sure that none of us get that much sleep, so I'm just going to disregard that part and say it's not important. But that was really interesting because sleeping is fun. Well, I mean, it's not fun. I'm not really sure what it is, but sleeping is good. It's a pretty good thing to do. So then after that, I decided that I would look up barefoot running just because I've heard a lot about it. I always run barefoot. Like during the summer, I run barefoot around the lakes. I run barefoot on the boulevard right by school. I run barefoot on Harrell's Ferry, like to Canes and stuff. I run barefoot everywhere. No matter what we do, I always run barefoot. I run barefoot on the Coach Stoop Trail everywhere. I like barefoot running. It's nice to like feel the ground under your feet and stuff. And you step on a lot of stuff, so your feet get like really calloused. But I decided that I would look that up because a lot of people say it's really good for you, but that it can also be really, really bad for you. So I decided just to kind of see what I learned about it. And I learned that in the very beginning, like when you first start barefoot running, you're supposed to like progress into it. So you don't start barefoot running all at once. You go like slowly. Like if you had repeats, you would do all of the repeats but one in shoes. And then you would like work your way up to doing it all barefoot. Well, my first thought to that was that I didn't do that. I did the exact opposite of that. I just kind of jumped right on it and said, I'm just going to run barefoot. So I did. And I'm perfectly fine. So I don't think that anybody has to take it slow or whatever to make sure your feet don't get hurt. I mean, I guess if you have really tender feet, then you're not going to like barefoot running. But, I just disregard stuff that doesn't really apply to me. So I'm disregarding that. That's not important. And then I also learned that barefoot running is really good because it prevents a lot of injury like shin splints and other injuries with your foot. And that it strengthens your feet and makes you have a forefoot strike, like you strike with the front of your foot rather than have a heel strike, which is bad for running. But then it's also it's not exactly safe because you could always step on like a nail or glass or a rusted coat hanger or something like that, and it can ruin like your entire season. And it's very easy to get hurt when you run barefoot, easier to get hurt than if you just ran with shoes. So a lot of people don't think it's worth all that trouble just to run barefoot, but I like it, so I do it. Coach Cole doesn't really like it because I could get hurt so easily, so he's always very nervous, but I still do it anyways because I run better when I run barefoot. So then after that, that was pretty much all I could come up with to research, but I really didn't want to start any of my other homework, so I decided that I would just type in random facts and see what comes up. And so I just got lists of random facts, and I learned just like random stuff. I didn't like go into any of it because it was all just random, like nothing that I could actually research. Like one of the things I learned was that President Kennedy was the fastest public speaker and spoke 350 words per minute or something like that. And it was just like really random. Let's see, what else was there? I learned that according to suicide statistics, most people commit suicide on Mondays. Yeah, that was really nice to know. I learned that elephants can't jump. In Australia, there are twice as many kangaroos as there are people. And that it takes 11 Empire State Buildings to measure the Atlantic Ocean. Just random stuff like that. So, thank you for spending, all this time to listen to me just ramble on about random stuff. Bye-bye.